If anybody's in, please hit the like button so I know that it's getting out there to folks. Because we are live. There we go, connected to the live chat. Here we are. Let me get my coffee going. Rick Stumball, good morning. How are you? You grab my coffee, and we'll get this show on the road. I know it's pretty early for a lot of you guys out in the western part of the country. It's 11 o'clock here, but there we go. Making breakfast yourself. What are you having, my friend? Anything good? All right, we got a few people in. Frank Morello, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Let me grab a little cream for the coffee. My metal coffee cups get hot, so I'm gonna drop a little milk in there, cool it down a little bit. Tater tots, eggs and bacon. That sounds amazing. Sounds fantastic. What I am getting ready to make, I'm going to do the McDonald's recreate like it said there. And today I'm going to be doing the one thing now, I don't know if it's discontinued everywhere, but it's discontinued where I am. And it's one of my absolute favorite things. And that is the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. Now, the one thing that I'm not going to be doing is good morning, Rusty. How are you? Good to see you, buddy. The one thing that I'm not going to do with the steak, egg, and cheese bagel that it seems to come in different parts of the country, but the steak, egg, and cheese bagel has a sauce that here, where I live, they don't put that sauce on there. And I've tried to recreate the sauce several times just to see what it is. It's kind of a mayonnaise mustard mix, and I don't generally like it. So I'm not going to do that. I just go with, when I order this from McDonald's, I just generally get the, I just get mayo on mine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just doing plain mayo on my steak, egg, and cheese bagel. And then we're going to do a McMuffin, and we're going to do the hash browns. And we're going to do it all on cast iron, which is going to be even better. So, yeah, you got to have the onions. And I got the onions over here. Got my onions ready to go. Already got my butter in there. And I totally dig on the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. That's one of my favorite things. But one of the things that I don't have, and this is if you don't have, you know, like the Egg McMuffin, it has that perfect circle egg. But I use these things. I use canning jar lids, stainless steel. I just throw a little bit of butter in those things, and that works fine. I'm not a big fan of silicone. I'm looking for some different ones. Some more of everyday style, the rings. I don't like the silicone rings that well. And so I'm looking for some different kind of rings, but when I don't have those to make it look the way it looked like an Egg McMuffin and a steak, egg, and cheese bagel, I do the canning jar lids. For the bagel, I use the wide mouth lid, and for the McMuffin, I use the regular mouth canning jar lid for that one. And it seems to work out fairly well. Now I say that, and then it's not going to. That's how I did it before I got the egg rings. Yeah, do you have the silicone ones, Rusty? It's only 9:04 here. Yeah, in Montana. I'll tell you what, Frank. I could not sleep last night at all. I fell asleep, yesterday from like 9 to, or from about 5 to 8 o'clock, just watching some TV. I was binge watching a show, and I fell asleep for about 3 hours, and I have been up ever since. And finally, about 4:30, I just got up and started getting stuff done. And that's how, and that's what I've been doing today. I've just been going. I've got orders to do, and I'm heading to the shop after this. And the metal rings that I use on my Blackstone. Jay Justice, good morning, sir. Hey, I got my sourdough starter this morning. I actually went to the post office this morning and picked up that, and I have not opened the envelope, but I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. And but yeah, and we'll be rehydrating that, and next week I'll be making some sourdough bread thanks to you. Thank you so much for sending that. Let's see, I have the silicone, Rick. I have the silicone. If you put them in the pan for 1 to 2 minutes before the eggs, they seem to seal better. Yeah, okay. I get you on that. But yeah, thanks so much. I can't wait to try out this sourdough. I've never made sourdough bread. I've generally just bought sourdough bread, so I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Really looking forward to it and learning how to do it. Oh, but it looks like we got some folks in here. But anyway, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna bake. I'm not gonna deep fry the hash browns. We're gonna get the hash browns going, and I don't deep fry those. So what we're gonna do is I've got in the oven, I've got heated up to 425. I have I've got my Lodge square griddle right here, and I'm gonna throw a little bit of oil on that and get this going. All right. So let me get a little bit of, I'm just going to use some grapeseed oil on there. A little bit of grapeseed, get that party started. And I'm not going to soak this down or anything. I generally don't do that. I just generally go ahead and wipe it on with the paper towel and go from there. Yeah, that's going. It's preheated. I got it at 425, like I said. So we are ready to put those in there and get that wiped on. Am I on? Yeah, you can see that. Okay. All right. I mean, I have a little. I don't just have it. Just there's a little bit of oil on there, about a couple tablespoons. Maybe I can run my fan if Fuzz isn't on here. So he gets a little irritable when I run my fan. But anyhow, so we'll just throw those on there. But since this is about what I got to head to the shop after this, so I don't mind having a big breakfast because it's going to be a while before I eat. I probably won't go down from the shop till about 8 or 9 tonight. So I'm going to throw those in there in the Lodge square griddle pan. Love that thing. It does not work that great on my burners. So if anybody from Lodge is watching, I don't really dig on that too much. I don't like to use the square griddle on my stove because of the size of it. But in the oven and on my grill, it is fantastic. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, because that's going to take the longest, obviously. So what we're going to do is we'll get a little bit of butter back there in the back. Put that on there. Where's that burner? Oh yeah, I've been heating this up a little bit this morning, so I've been letting this. A lot of times when I run into this, when I do these things, I don't have the burner up hot enough. And one of the things, though, I did as I put my new the new drip pans in underneath, so I'm hoping that that doesn't affect anything today. And got too hot. Make sure it's not blasting red. I'm gonna check that real quick because I did just change those this morning, like about 2 hours ago. I finally got those in from Amazon, so let me make sure that's not red back there. Not red hot? Okay, it's not. All right, it's just hot. That's it. So, do that. Crank my door. It's nice enough here today I can crank the window open a little bit, which is pretty nice. It's been fairly nice here. We're starting to get some rain now, but we did have, it was beautiful this morning. I mean, it was literally gorgeous out this morning. So, a little bit more butter on there. In the back, we'll get that burger going. I got a 1/4 pound of 90-10 already salted. Now McDonald's doesn't use anything other than they don't use anything other than salt and pepper on their stuff. So we'll get that paper and we'll smash that down. There we go. And we'll get some shrinkage on that too. I'm not going to smash it 100% smash. Let's see. But the salt and pepper's already on there. And we're going to let that go. I'm going to butter up my bagel. Speaking of bagels, there's the Beagle. Coming in to see, she's smelling burger already. Get that on there. One of these over here. That going. There we go. Got the bagel on there. And then we'll take our big ring. I'm going to give it just a minute. Let that heat on there a little bit. That heat on the stove. And warm up. We want that to be kind of hot. Alright. Just checking the comments here. But yeah, man, the weather around the country has just been insane this morning. I was watching the weather to see how our weather was going to be, or the national weather. And I mean, depending on where you are, you're getting either, some people are getting floods, some people are getting, put my onions on here too, off to the side. I've already got the butter in here too. I got my little pat of butter on that. Grill those onions. That's not going to take long. It's already smelling like a steak, egg, and cheese bagel already. That going. Get my spatula out. I already had out. And my other backup spatula. But yeah, there's people, I mean, White Mountain Girl, who usually shows up for the lives, she's looking at 6 to 10 inches of snow this morning. I had 70 degrees. I'm going to have 70 degrees. That's already ready to flip, which is good. That's nice. Oh yeah, look at that. They're ready. Check these out. I want these kind of buttery. I don't want them to be too overly done. And we'll just take and flip our onions. These onions are gonna go real quick. I got the griddle hot, man. This is like McDonald's here. We've got the griddle hot. We're looking at it. Not gonna be a long stream, but we're gonna do both. I've been wanting to do this for a little while. I'm even throw some, got the restaurant style salt and pepper shaker. So we'll do that. This here. Then we're just gonna set this off to the side for a second. In the Cascade Mountains. That just sounds nice. Cascade Mountains. That just sounds like a good time. It's easier to use Pam, but I didn't have any Pam, so I just used butter. And we'll get our cheese on here too. Big blob of that. Go in the compost pile. Salt, pepper. That's all you need for this. Keep those, keep our onions going. Those onions are going to be good. Got the underside cooking on that. I can use another minute. Ooh. And always make sure when you're doing these, for people that don't normally use them, do this side up first, do the top side down, so when you flip them over, you just have to push that out. And you'll be able to, believe you me, I've done that before, and been mad as hell. So, check these out, yeah. You know, like if you don't get these at McDonald's, they are, I don't want to say it. At McDonald's, they are pretty shiny by the time you get them. Looks good. Hungry now. Rick Long, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Good morning. And I just don't want that to overcook. I want it to be buttery. I want it to be like a buttery, I want it to be almost kind of chewy, like they are at McDonald's. Oh, and I got to throw, well, I'll do that here in a second. I'm going to throw the Beagles. Let's see, and then we want one cheese for the bottom. One piece of cheese for the bottom, definitely. Kevin Mong, fabulous. Wow. Good morning, Kevin. How are you? Glad to see you. If you guys have not already, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Drag a few more people in here this morning. That'd be fun. More the merrier, I always say. So, unlike at McDonald's, I will kind of place my cheese sort of centered. We'll get that going. But yeah, that whole thing of not sleeping, I've been, I am telling you what, I'm feeling it. It's going to be a long day. That's why I've already been through a half pot of coffee already, and I just put this other one in there just before I came on here because I'm going to be dragging. I see some Red Bull. I see the sugar-free Red Bulls in my near future. That's for certain. That is for certain. Okay, so we got that. Then we'll flip our, get in there and flip these. Flip the old hash browns. And I gotta have more than one hash brown patty, that's for sure. The hash brown patties, let's give those a quick flip. They're coming along nice. Put those on for another 10 minutes. I'm doing these a little higher than the instructions. The instructions say 400, but I'm gonna go, I'm in cast iron, so I'm going 425 on that. Sorry, I'm notorious for kicking the stand. So pull this up. That's ready to turn over. That's ready to flip. And that's only going to take about a minute. Oh, let's reset our timer here for 8 minutes on the other part of the hash brown patties. There we go. Get those onions going. I'm actually going to throw a little bit more butter on those. Can't have too much butter, right? So they're looking good. Center up that patty a little bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's sticking this morning. Pull that down. That in there. This one in there. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here too. Put that other ring on there and get that warming up. Because like I said, this is not going to take long. Give that a flip. And that comes off nice and easy. Right over there to the sink. Stick that on. And viola. There we go. One steak, egg, and cheese bagel done. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's set that off to the plate. Little beard and flannel cam over here. And I'm gonna get the Beags. I'm gonna get her set up with the Canadian bacon so she doesn't feel left out. Greg Hart, good morning, buddy. How are you? Good to see you. Put a little more butter down. This griddle needs a lot more butter. Gotta have the butter. And that one's for the Beagle. We'll just heat that up real quick. Kind of give it the old chopperoo. She can't have big pieces. She probably shouldn't be having all this. She's had all kinds of stuff. She's kind of a spoiled dog, so she's been kind of, she's already been eating pretty good this morning. And tomorrow we're going to do, I should be live tomorrow. Check your notifications at 11 o'clock for tomorrow. I'm going to try and do a sugar-free breakfast tomorrow. Or at least a low-carb breakfast. Farmhouse breakfast, surprisingly enough, but we're going to do it with pretty limited sugar. So if low sugar is your thing, you might want to check that one out tomorrow. Yeah, the Beags. The Beags is in there. She's already went for a big walk already today. She went to the post office with me and to run around town a little bit. So she's been doing her. She's done a little bit of running around. She's in there doing what dogs do, which is sleeping. So for my next trick, we're going to go with, I'm going to put our Egg McMuffin. We're going to do the Egg McMuffin. Now, I think this is a number 1. I'm not positive. It's either the Egg McMuffin or the Sausage Egg McMuffin is the number 1. And I'm not sure which one is which. But I know the steak, egg, and cheese bagel at one point, when it was still at my local McDonald's, or the one, I say local, but it's 25 miles away. I don't really have a lot of much of anything here. But there we go. Give that a second to kind of kick off. Check out the comment section for a minute. I have 2 blue tick beagles and 1 regular beagle. They definitely love their food. Well, the beagle actually isn't a beagle. We just, in our house, all the dogs are beagles. No matter what they are, it's kind of a family thing. It's been going on for generations. Actually, she's a rat terrier, kind of almost like a fox, kind of like a fox terrier, that kind of thing. Jack Russell, she's kind of Jack Russell, but we just call all of them beagles. It's kind of a Snoopy thing that my sister did, and my aunts did, and my grandma did, and Graham did, and all that stuff. So they're all beagles. And the Beegs isn't actually her name. We just call her the Beegs because she's the only one that's here. Yeah, rugged. She's a rugged little dog, man. She's a rugged dog. Let's see. I got 2 minutes on the old hash brown. Like I said, this is gonna be a quick live. Just sort of a hangout this morning. Just kind of a hang, and man, I've been, like I said, I've been wanting to do this. I've been wanting to do this this on there, but I didn't want to do it on my normal slot of 7 o'clock on Thursdays because it just didn't seem like a Thursday night kind of a thing. So I'm doing it on a Saturday morning when I'd be doing it anyway. I mean, I would be doing this anyway. I'd be getting out the Wagner Griddle and the Lodge square griddle, and that's what we'd be doing anyhow. And we'll break out the salt and pepper shaker, restaurant style. Maybe we should have done the egg a little quicker. Let's check these. Yeah, these are getting there. Let's see what that's doing. Oh, those are looking good. We'll move those up a little bit. We'll let those brown up. Those are a little more doughy. Yeah. Got to make some. Kevin Mong, where are you at, buddy? What part of the country are you in? Yeah, there's my daughter has a sign. I'm trying to remember what Ming's sign has. Something about the dog. She has a sign back by her room. And it shows the dog pooping. I don't know what that. I'm not sure exactly what that is supposed to mean. Without me remembering what it says. Oh yeah, those hash browns are doing good. Move my mayo over here into this section. And we'll move this into this section over there. Because we'll get our plate up area going. The usual plating area. Let's see. Move some of this stuff. Because you guys know I got tons of room here in the kitchen. So there we go. And I've got the Beegs stuff there. If you can see, can we all see that? Yeah, we can see it pretty good. There we go. That over there. Let's see how these are looking. Oh yeah. And we don't want them, I don't want them too crispy. I don't need all that. I can even put on this, onto this one now, and we'll get my backup flipper and give that a flip over. There we go. And I'll get my cheese melting on the other side of that. Beagle, come here and get your breakfast. Biggs, breakfast time. Go get it. Your breakfast is over there. We'll do Biggs cam here in a second once I get this cheese on here. Turn that off. Beard cam. And there's this. And the egg should be just about done. We get all this out of the way. Actually, I'll get all this out of the way, except for the Biggs' trick piece that she usually does every episode. Oh, and I almost forgot the mayo on the steak, egg, and cheese. So we'll kick that around here real quick. That thing's looking really good. Slap the mayo on there. Should have done on both sides, but you know, live and learn. Plus it's live. I tend to forget things when I go live. So there's that. Okay, the egg is probably, I'm gonna say the egg's done. Yeah, that egg's perfect. That's just about where I want that egg. Knock that down. Like I said, this isn't the end-all be-all way to do these eggs. There's probably a lot better way to do them, but they do come out. I mean, if you can see that, if you can see it without me dropping it, that comes out really, really well. It's that thickness you want for the Egg McMuffin. Drop that on there, that on the top, put this on top. There we go. And we will flip it over that way, take it off. There we go. Put this down on the side. There we go. Got our two sandwiches. Turn that off. Don't need that on there anymore. And I will pull out the, put that back over there. There we go. Let's see. Now on the cast iron griddle, we brought these out. These look pretty darn good. That's about where you want that. We did that at about 22 minutes at 425. Now I know, like they say on the package, that those need to be at 400, 410, somewhere in that neighborhood. But we're on cast iron, so we want it a little hotter because the baking sheets are pretty thin, so they tend to go a little quicker. Let's see, we'll get the OJ going. Let's see if we can't get that in there like this. Those. The gloves off. Don't need the gloves anymore. Get my orange juice pulled. Aiden, hello. Good morning. Good to see you. You gotta have the orange juice with the McDonald's breakfast. This isn't Minute Maid, but I'm not a fan of Minute Maid, so it is what it is. Let's get a good picture of that. Get that down there. And some ketchup on the side. You gotta have the ketchup. And straight salt. And we'll get the Beagle to do her trick. The normal trick for the day. So we'll swing down to do a Biggs cam. Beagle, piece of Canadian bacon. Can I get a spin? There you go. All right. She did her thing. And we'll go over here and we'll bring these up and let you guys take a look at them. Watch out, Beaks. Watch out. Yours is done. You can have a little bit of my hash brown. Just a little bit. Have a little bit of the old hash brown. But yeah, we'll get that in there. And get this in there. But yeah, these, I mean, this just came out. If you've ever had the steak, egg, and cheese bagel from McDonald's, that's my go-to. And this came out perfect. And like I said, I don't like I tried to recreate their sauce, which doesn't come at my McDonald's that I normally go to. And I've tried to recreate it, and sort of like Big Mac sauce, probably, it just doesn't come out. I don't like it. It's really mustardy. And then here, this one, the Egg McMuffin, and that egg came out really good. Those canning jar lids, that really does, it does the trick. It works in a pinch. So if you can see that works out pretty good. And on both sides, our hash browns came out nice. That's never a bad thing. Wipe my hands off just a little bit. And let's give this a dang quart, see how it is. Thanks, Rick. Now, Jay Justice, I'm in there with you, man. I'm having lasagna from Thursday night. That's my dinner when I get home tonight. So, Now, granted, these aren't as delicious. These are just from Kroger. These hash brown patties, and no potato is ever as good as McDonald's makes it as far as like a fast food, the ideal fast food potato. McDonald's seems to have it pretty sewn up. But these aren't bad. And I can never just get one. I've got to get at least two. And normally I don't double up my sandwiches like this, but like I said, I'm not going to be back home till late tonight, so I don't mind dropping out 1,500 calories, 12 to 1,500 calories before I go. But let's give this a try. The Egg McMuffin. And I did do 2 pieces of Canadian bacon, which I don't know, I prefer it that way. Yeah. That is 100% on point. 100% on point. As I'm sure you guys listening to me smack my lips, that is really good. That's hitting the spot. Plus, I haven't had anything to eat since I've been up at 4 o'clock. Been running. Here, Bagel. Hash brown. She got a hash brown. And then the orange juice. You got to throw the orange juice in it. Got to have orange juice. Now the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. One of my all-time favorites. With actually a lot better burger. This is 9010 Angus from the butcher shop. Curly's Meats, Jackson Center, Ohio. They make great burger. Yeah. That's hitting right. Picture of your what? Oh, send you a picture. Oh yeah, could you hear it? It just went through. Well, yes, came in late, of course, But it looks delicious. Well done. Well done. Thank you so much, Valley S. I'm glad you could. I'm glad you could make it. We just did the. We did a value. The number one, and at my McDonald's, the steak, egg and cheese bagel is the number 6. So that's what we did this morning with the hash browns, grilled onions, and I'm telling you, it came out right. And my burger is not like overdone. It's not medium rare. It's just slightly under. There's still a little. I don't know if you can see it, but it's still a little pinkish toward the center, and that's why I didn't smash it down on the second one. I smashed it to smash it, and that seems to work out for me pretty well on the griddles. That I smash it once, and I don't put the smasher back on it again. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. That is good stuff. And like I said, I didn't have to check the bag to make sure that my order wasn't messed up. I didn't have to take any, have my cheese stuck to the paper. Kevin Long, yeah, I'm right up the road. I'm about an hour and a half from you, over in between Wapak and Sydney, Ohio. Just the other side of Indian Lake. Basically, really, it's more Indian Lake than Sydney. I'm more Indian Lake, Ohio. That's where I'm at. Half homemade is always better than takeout. Yeah, and this was pretty close. I mean, I didn't make the hash browns, and I didn't have to bake the bread, which is nice because usually I bake all the bread in the house. And thanks to Jay Justice, we'll be doing sourdough bread this week. Hopefully I don't screw that up. Super good. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say you're right on this, Valley. Yes, it's definitely, it's about half takeout. Tell the fur baby thank you very much. Is it a cat fur baby or a dog fur baby or something else? There you go. That's awesome. But like I said, we're going to be doing a low sugar breakfast tomorrow, probably about the same time, about 11 o'clock. So have your notifications on. That should be pretty good. I'm going to be throwing some stuff together, and yeah, I love all the cast iron. Yeah, nothing. That's actually 100% cast iron. There's nothing better, especially for breakfast. I mean, some things, I don't know. I don't have anything that's not cast iron anymore. I have cast iron, glass, and stainless steel. That's like all I have in my house. I don't have anything else other than, well, except for the grill. And even the grill has cast iron grates, and then we have the other grills that are Lodge grills. So I don't have a whole lot of stuff anymore that's not cast iron. Corey Clark, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. These both came out really, really well. And what time is it? I mean, we've only been at this 45 minutes, and I'm like half done. If it normally, if it would have just been me here by myself, I would have picked one of the two to eat, and then wrapped the other one up and saved it for the microwave or something later. But like I said, for breakfast, you just really can't beat cast iron unless you're going to have like a yogurt bowl. Unless you're going to have to do something like that. Oatmeal. And even the oatmeal I make I have enamel. I have my Descoware, so that works for that. No, I didn't fry the hash browns. I did them in my Square Lodge griddle. I just did them in the oven. at 425 for 20 minutes, flipped them over at 10 minutes. And I probably let it run over just a little bit because we were doing live, but I just did the live square griddle, which is a great griddle for in the house, in the oven, or out on the grill. I do not recommend those. They're square griddles for the stovetop because they're really big. And it just seems like everything on the outside doesn't, it's one thing if you do like an egg or something, but if you're doing to do 3 or 4 eggs, you get a really well done, excuse me, sorry about that. You get a really well done egg in the middle, and then you get 3 or 4 partially done eggs on the outside. It just never, and the same thing is the same with their breakfast skillet. Now they have 2 breakfast skillets. They have their rounded one, their legacy one, and I've never used that one, but I do have one of the square new breakfast skillets from Lodge, and that doesn't work very well on the stovetop either. It works great on my grill. It works great over a campfire, but it does not work on the stovetop very well. Yeah, it's not like getting like a Wagner square griddle. And if my Wagner square griddle wasn't in the very back of my rack, and I'd have to go through like 3 or 4, 5 cast iron pans to get it while I'm all greasy and ketchupy, but I would get it down because the size difference is notable. I mean, it's the Wagner Griswold square skillets are a lot smaller in width than the Lodge, the new Lodge. I've never used. I'm trying to think. I've totally lost it here because I think Lodge has a breakfast skillet like the vintage ones. I'm pretty positive they do, but I've never seen one in real life, so I don't know the size of it. But as far as like the that square griddle goes, I do use that thing all the time in the oven. Like if I'm just making a few egg rolls, or if I'm making stuffed pizza rolls, things like that, and I don't want to use a big sheet or a big piece of cast iron. It's not. It's like an 11-inch. I think it's like 11. Mercy B, hello. Good morning. Good to see you. But yeah, it's great for in the oven for little things. So you're still having different eyes. Let me see. So your stovetop griddle works having different eyes. Seems to heat evenly. Yeah, the griddle works. The long griddles work really well, and I like having the two. If you're talking about the 2-burner style, the long griddle, I like that because I can cook 2 things like I did, like this, how I did the eggs on one end and the meat at the other end, and then I had the bread browning in the middle that I didn't need so hot. So I really do like that. It's just one of those things I had to get used to doing. Let's see. Rick says I have a vintage and a new square and a square breakfast. I love them. They work great for me, but I cook on gas. Maybe that's a difference. For me, it's a difference. Because my center just gets it gets so much hotter than the other. You have to kind of you guys see me kind of mess with that every once in a while. William Hurt, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. But yeah, that's one of the things that you get into especially with the Lodge stuff. The Lodge is even though for a Lodge, those square griddles are actually a lot thinner. I'll actually pick it up and I'll show you. But it's not it's still thick, but it's got it's a cooking surface basically all the way around. It doesn't have a thicker side or anything like that. It's just it's a one big square cooking surface. So I mean, it's not super thick, but at the same time it's thick enough to where it doesn't it doesn't really transfer that heat out there that well. But in the oven, I mean, it's great. And like I said, on the grill, it's fantastic. I love it on the grill. If I just need to like do onions and peppers on the side, that's what I use. Yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah, please hit the like button. That would be great if you guys did that. And it was nice to see we had some different faces in here this morning. That was cool. And hopefully it wasn't too early for you folks out west. Um, for me, this is basically brunch, is what I'm doing. But I generally don't. I don't know. I guess it depends on the day. Some days I eat breakfast right when I get up, and some days I won't eat till I get done. But today it was working out because I got to go to the shop. I'm working on a couple different types of cast iron cure. I'm actually sold out again. So if any of you folks are ones that picked up some cast iron cure this week, thank you so much, because I just sent out my last two this morning when I was at the post office, and so I'm off to go make another big batch. I'll be there till about 8 o'clock tonight, making more. Not sure how many dozens and dozens of these things I'll be making today, but quite a few. And this was kind of weird. I sold, I had a few months, I don't know, I should say a few months ago. Last summer, a guy stopped by, a friend of mine that's an antique dealer. He stopped by and he sold me a box of vintage, of 70s, 80s Wagner, like a full set, like 5, 6, 8, 10, Dutch oven, two quart Dutch oven, the bowl style, and a griddle, like a big, nice 11-inch griddle. And I restored those, and I've been sort of, as I go, I kind of put them up on eBay and sell them. But I sold on Tuesday, I've had these things up forever, and I sold the 8, the 6, and the 5, all on Tuesday, all in one day, and they've been up there for months. And they're completely restored, all that stuff. They came out really nice. And yesterday, the same 3 people that bought on Tuesday came back and bought the exact same amount of cast iron cure tins, all 3. So I had that's never happened in the 6 years I've been had cast iron cure up online for sale. That was kind of a weird. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah, Jay Justice, you picked some up too. Um, yeah, if you're gonna keep sending me that sourdough starter, we might have to just work out a swap, buddy. But what I'll do, I put in the cure. The cure is Amish country no spray beeswax. That's one thing that's real important. Where I get my beeswax is a no spray zone. That means there's no pesticides in the area where my the bee farms now it's now more than one different bee farm that I pick my beeswax up from. So that's absolutely the beeswax is one in a spray free zone, and then on top of that, it's minimally filtered. That means it's not overly processed. Like you're not going to get, bee pieces and things like that in there. But it's not overly refined like a lot of things that you get offline. It's a real shiny, good smelling. It actually has a nice floral smell when it melts, as opposed to like a stale wax smell that you get when you buy stuff off the line. Like if I bought commercial made beeswax, and then I use cold pressed avocado oil and grapeseed oil in proprietary amounts that I've kind of worked on for a while. I kind of worked on it for a while, but like I've said before, I've been a beeswax crafter for about 11 years now. So when I started doing the cast iron cure, I'd already been making it for myself for like 3 or 4 years. And just like with and I go back to this too. When I started doing and restoring cast iron, I didn't I didn't know this was a thing. So I was making the beeswax seasoning for myself, and I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Artie, but I don't think it was Artie. But somebody said, "Hey, you should can that stuff and send it out." So I just send it out in the same sizes that I send my beard balm out in a 2-ounce puck, and we thousands and thousands later. I mean, it's actually I had an email from eBay yesterday morning that cast iron cure is a trending product on eBay, that's pretty cool. I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, yeah, William Hurt. That's what this smells like. It smells like it has like a floral honey scent. Yeah, yeah. It's that's exactly how it is. And as soon as it hits the pan, the heated up pan, you can just smell that. They get that honey floral scent. I love it. And I've heard that. I've never used or researched other people's stuff, like other companies or influencers, YouTubers. I can never give a review about other people's beeswax seasoning because I've never used it. I don't know anything about their stuff. I've never used it. I see people doing it, but I've never used it. And actually, we even had the inventor of I don't know if it was it Buzzy Wax or Crisby. One of the guys when Artie was here, he's friends with one of those the guys that own that company, and they run our live. And I told him, I said I didn't mean to be competition. Um, I just been making it. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Yeah, it's way less smoky, and that's the other thing I like about it. There's not as much smoke. The smoke point's so high, but when you're using the beeswax seasoning, you just have to hit it. You just have to hit that point. You don't have to go over and make it a smoky mess. And the other thing is that I use my cast iron cure as a daily conditioner, and that's something that I'm gonna do. Um, the daily conditioner that I do every day. I use it every time I clean my cast iron. Like with this, we'll just kind of do a run. I'll do a real video on it one time, but like say with this, um, I would take and once you wash it, and it doesn't matter how you wash it, whether you use soap, you don't use soap, or whatever. What I do is I bring it back over to the stove, and you can do it stovetop or in the stove to do a daily conditioner. And this is, a lot of people. I don't season my cast iron every time I use it. I know a lot of people do, and that's awesome. If you have time to do that, that's fantastic. But I don't, and I use my cast iron 3 times a day. So if I was gonna season my cast iron every time I use it, I'd be seasoning cast iron all day long. But on something like this, what I would do is I would wash it, I would dry it, and then while I'm drying or washing my stuff, I set my oven just to 225. And when it hits 225, I take that dried cast iron after I've washed it and dried it. You don't have to do anything special to it. And I throw it into the oven and I let it sit there for 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes, I take it out. I don't turn the oven off. I take that, put it back out here. I'll rub the cast iron cure all over it, wipe it off, just like you were getting ready to season it. Wipe it off, wipe it dry, like you did something. I even say that in the description on eBay. I put on there, I wipe this off like I did something wrong to it. Wipe it off, I throw it in back in there at 225, and then I just turn the oven off. That's all I do to it. I don't I don't wipe any more off when it's done, and I just let it cool in there. And if you do it on the stove top, you just basically have to get just like if you were gonna wipe oil on it, like after you washed and dried it, and you did a skillet on your stove top, I would just dry it, till the pan gets hot, until it gets warm. It doesn't have to be blasting hot. You're not seasoning it, you're just running a conditioner on it. And then I just wipe it on there the same way on the stove top and dry it off. Use a clean rag, or I use these things, and I keep them around these blue towels. I use these blue towels, and I wipe it on, and I wipe it off, and I just set it off to the side, or I even leave it just on the burner. Turn that off, and I leave it. You don't have to do anything else to it. It's done. And the nice thing about that, when you're using a beeswax conditioner or a seasoning, you can ever. You can leave it for a year and not use that piece again, and it's not going to rust up and it's not going to stink when you go to use it again. And if you do gum it up a little bit, if you do put too much on and it's a little sticky, all you got to do is take a dry rag, like a dish towel or whatever you have laying around, and just buff it back off. You don't have to heat it and scrub it with salt or any of that stuff. You just have to wipe it off, because it's going to be, if you do it right, when you take that out of the oven the next day to use your cast iron again after you've conditioned it, it's ready to go. You don't have to, wipe it off. You don't have to buff it. It's not going to be sticky. You just heat it up, add your cooking oil, and go. That's all you got to do. Yeah, I do it every time. I do it every time I use it. If I use it, yeah, it's really it's really easy. It's one of those things that it seems complicated, but once you do it a little bit, it just it becomes second nature. That, and I use a lot of butter, so my stuff is pretty well seasoned. Man, this is good. I gotta get another bite of this sandwich though. That's really good. And I didn't have to go to McDonald's and spend $15 this morning. It's crazy how much fast food is these days. Absolutely insane. But yeah, and Valley, yes, it's and for anybody that wants to pick up some cast iron cure, it's only available on eBay. I don't have a website. I don't have anywhere else. I don't have enough subscribers right now to be able to put links up on my like, say, in my videos. I can't put links up. So that's why I haven't had any links. I don't. But but yeah, I have to have so many subscribers to do that. So yeah, to have my product link in there, I've got to get about 250 more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, man, subscribe. Yeah, Crisco works, man. I don't, yeah, product placement. Yeah, absolutely. And this is the original can. The original can that's probably 6-7 years old now. Yeah, it is really easy. And like I said, I don't, I've used a million different things. The pans, the Lodge or the Wagner pans that I just sent out this week that somebody bought off of eBay, I did those in avocado oil with a paintbrush, because it comes out really well too. But but it's really easy. And what I like about it too is the long storage. This was just something that I picked up from, like, where I grew up. Beeswax was, people used to do it on, people would store their farm, gears and parts for farm machinery. They dip them in beeswax and put them on the shelf, and then they pull them off in the winter or the springtime, and they just heat them up, put that wax on them, and then they were already kind of like, they had like kind of an oil to them. And I remember a lady that lived down, my friend's grandma, she would season her cast iron in straight beeswax. And that's a little too much wax, do I? Valley S, how many pieces of cast iron do you have? Probably somewhere between 150 to maybe 200, probably a little less than 200 pieces altogether. That's everything. But I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff here. You know, that's even the stuff out in the garage that I mean, there's probably 100 pieces of Lodge on my rack if you counted all the lids and everything else, the trivets and you know the smash burger smashers. You know, all the griddles. I'm a long griddle kind of freak. I was gonna use my Wapak griddle today, but I just changed those. I just changed those grease pans, those drip pans on my stove, and I didn't want the stove taken off in case I didn't put them back together right. Yeah, I don't have. I mean, mostly what's out here is stuff that I use, Valley S. My, you know, I've got like some. I've got a few different styles of bunt pans and you know camping ovens, but I've also got a lot of like grills, kickoff grills, that kind of stuff. I've been wanting the waffle iron. Yeah, I just got that one waffle. Artie Bliss just gifted me that one. That was so nice of him. That, and I still haven't seen another tapered logo Wapak waffle iron. Not saying I have the only one out there, but I definitely have I have a size 7. So that's super rare. Yeah, it is a hard time rotating them all. And William Hurt, that's why I've gotten rid of some that I don't, because I'm trying to get a complete set of Wagner or Pickwa favorite wear with the smiley logo. I'm trying to get a complete set of that and like all the additional pieces. I've got some gem pans and things like that that are Pickwa smiley logo, but and my Wagner ware, I'm trying to get complete sets of those. And then I'll pick up rare stuff like my Indian heads. I've got a few Indian heads and you know stuff like that. Some you know like if I come across like I have the Colonial Skillet, the Griswold. I don't have a lot of Griswold. I only have a few pieces of Griswold. But you know I picked that one up because it was in front of me. Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, heck, my daughter is even start. She's you know, that's it's even my daughter, my youngest Ming. She's already got like 6 or 7 pieces of cast iron. Just stuff that I've given her. I mean, that's you know that comes right out of my collection. And then she has that really cool Le Creuset Quidditch Dutch oven from Harry Potter that is like. I wish I'd have bought 4 of those things when I got her that because those things are like crazy insane in their price now. Yeah, 25. I remember having 25 and thinking of that, and really like that like before it's before I had a rack I think. I had about 25 pieces, but I had the same for years and years. I had the same 5 pieces of cast iron, and then I found out it was a collect. You know, I kind of got into being a collector, and then it went from there. And really, when I started collecting, or started realizing, because I didn't realize people still made cast iron that wasn't Asian. I didn't know about Lodge. I didn't know about any of that stuff. I had a Lodge. I had a Lodge that I bought, but I never really put 2 and 2 together. I just bought it because it was American made. And I've had that same number 10 I've had now for 20 years. And the lid that came with it. And I got that at a big box store. A few of my favorites, Valley S. I have my favorite best to cook in that's been in a lot of the videos. That's the one that has the pitted bottom. That's one of my favorite ones. I've got my great grandma's skillets that were passed down to my grandma and to me, and that'd be my Wagner 5-star. Combo grill or combo skillet. I love that one. Yeah, my favorite ware. I like favorite ware just because I like how it is. I like the ring on the outside, the folded ring, the rolled ring, instead of being a smoke ring or a fire ring in the middle for like wood stove style. The favorite rolled smoke ring, whatever ring you want to call it. It sits over top of burners on electric stove. I really, really like that one. Um, yeah, and my Lodge, the other thing I really like is my Lodge round griddle. I love that thing. It never leaves my... Yeah, William Hurt, and I've got all my mom's stuff. Like, that's some of the best stuff I've gotten. My mom gave me her, she gave me her Wagner sizzle server. I've got that. That was my mom's. That hung in my kitchen, hung in our kitchen the whole time I was growing up. She got it at a garage sale. I did have my dad's Wagner chili pot. It was a Dutch oven he used for a bean and chili pot for the parties back when we were kids, but I restored that and gave that to my sister. And hey Fuzz, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. But yeah, and I picked up just about a year and a half ago, I picked up which I've never been a BSR guy, but I've got a very really old Red Mountain chicken fryer that's just in perfect shape, and I restored that last summer, and I use that a lot. And the other thing I like, and I'm going to break that out and start using it in videos, I've got a Meet My Pet number 8 with the beehive lid, and I really like that one as well. I love that that My Pet number 8 that I have. I really dig on that. Yeah, I turned off Fuzz. I made sure I didn't have the fan on when you got here. I didn't have the fan on. Now you just showed up. That's kind of messed up. Let's see. Yeah, but I mean, my thing is it's room. You know, a lot of it's room for more. You know, and I've gotten to the point where, you know, I have two racks plus, well, 3 racks. Now that I look at it for the Dutch, the bunt pans, they have their own rack, and then they're in my, you know, like in my bedroom closet and things like that. Lids. Sorry. The favorite lids are stained. Yeah, I love having glass lids, Rick. I tell that to people all the time. If you don't have to have unless you have a skillet that needs a match, I have glass lids. I have glass lids from everything from I have a stainless steel for my 3s, and then on up, I have glass for just about everything. Except for my 17. I've got a 15. I don't have a 12. I did mention that the other night. I don't have a 12-inch, or for my number 12s, I don't have lids for my number 12s of any kind, cast iron or glass. And I never realized that till the other day. Yeah, I need to get a number 12 lid. I've even got a 9 lid, at least one. And a 7 lid. I've got 7 lids. I've got 6s. I've got 5s. I don't have a number 4 lid or anything like that, but yeah, Greg Hart. I actually keep a number 5 unmarked Wagner under my front seat to break the windows in case I ever need to break my windows and get out of my car. I have a number 5 unmarked Wagner under the front seat of my car. We call it Exhibit A, just in case, you know, you never know what's going to happen when you're on the road, and it's nice to have a nice big piece of cast iron with a handle on it, and we call it Exhibit A. but yeah, I have one under and let's see, if you need to buy a rack to store them in, you end up buying more. Yeah, that's 100% true. And I have the big racks. You know, the 5-tier, 6-foot racks, and there's tons of stuff. And it's the accessories. That's the thing. Lodge gets me with their accessories. It's like pie pans, and then you got your casserole dish, and then you got your, you know, your skull your skull loaf pans, and you know the cornbread skillets, the wedge pans, and all those different things. That's where they've nailed me. Fajita skillets and this, that, and the other thing. That's where it gets me. All the real small Dutch ovens, like the 1-2 quart Dutch ovens. I've got a handful of those. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the camp ovens. I've got a few camp. Yeah, yeah. I had a my. It's funny. My first rack, my first wire rack, used to have microwave. It had all kinds of canned food and crock pots. And I also have a bunch of the 70s rival crock pots, rivalware crock pots. It had those on it. It had cookie sheets. And slowly but surely it just got 100%. It got 100% taken over by cast iron. And then I got another rack, and then I got another rack, and then I got a rack for the Dutch ovens and the bunt pans. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. The old Wagner lids, they fit everything. They seem to fit everything. You know, you can fit them on your lodge, and the BSR so far, the BSR that I've got, they seem to fit that if I need it. But yeah, I mean they fit everything. I've even got one of the smoker skillets, the lodge smoker skillets with the little teardrops cut out of them on the top and bottom. And I use the lid for that. It's a number 3, and I use that, the smoker lid, occasionally if I need a number 3 lid. But yeah. But anyway, people are starting to drop out and drop off, so that's usually my key. Plus, I've been doing this about an hour and a half, and I'm gonna let everybody get back to their Saturday. But like I said, there's about a 95% chance that we'll be doing this again tomorrow for kind of a low sugar breakfast, farm breakfast, and we'll be breaking out some cast iron for that and everything. So I really appreciate everybody that showed up, and we can keep this going tomorrow. Let's see, Honey Badger, did you 3 bread pans that Orphan Iron just bought? Yeah, I did see those three pans, the Atlantic pans. Those are pretty cool. I thought about man, that's one of those I wouldn't want to break the setup. I'd buy them if I could get all 3, because they're numbered in order, 1, 2, and 3. But, you know, anyway, we can pick this up again tomorrow. I've got to get to the shop. I got to finish my breakfast. I got to get these pans cleaned up and all that. But I really appreciate everybody stopping by, hitting the like button, and just hanging out, man. It's fun having breakfast with all you guys. So, but yeah, hit your notifications and on your subscribe, and that way we can do this again tomorrow. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, and you guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.